Hey guys, Jordan here. This is going to be a Frigidaire oven repair video. So I used my multimeter to do some testing, and I get this E02 code every single time you plug it in. So this E02 code is the temperature sensor, which is this thermistor right here. And when I test it, it's right between 80 and 100 K thermistor. So if this goes bad, you can test it by probing it. So I'll take my multimeter, and if I take these pins, put it in the resistance setting, and I probe both sides, I get 114, 115, 116. If I heat it up, you notice how the resistance goes down. If I touch it to my tongue, that's how I found out this was a good thermistor. If it's not reading values around that, it's probably bad around room temperature. So this was good. So we went and plugged it back in and restart the oven, and you'll notice the same code. Well, I'm trying to figure out what's going wrong, so I took an 82K resistor right here, and I unbolted the 4 bolts off of the circuit board. It will be laying in just like this. And if you hold it against the 2 pins down at the bottom where the thermistor plugs in while it's disconnected, and then turn it on, the oven will work. So to repair this after doing testing, it's an actual joint failure right over here. So if you look at it, it's hard to see, but the right pad right here has failed. So all we have to do is I'm gonna resolder it. So to start with, we're going to use what's called flux. Kester makes a very good flux pen. So I'm going to take some of the flux, and I'm going to just coat those pins just like so. And then I use a TS100 soldering iron, which is temperature regulated. So I just picked it up, and so it's going to tell it to go back to the 340 degrees Celsius. So we're just waiting for that to go back up. Having a iron like this that controls the temperature is very helpful because it prevents damage to the traces since it regulates the temperature. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, carefully touch it for a second, wait for the solder to melt. I'll do that on both sides. And so the flux prevents corrosion. Now I can put the iron back away. And then we're going to plug in that thermistor, and then we're going to turn it back on. So I'm going to take this pin, this little tab at the end, I push it in, put it in the correct way. Now, make sure this doesn't touch anything. Now I'm going to plug in the oven and see if it works. And as you see, the oven is now working. And then we can go and assemble everything back together. To get the shield off, it's going to be a bunch of screws lining the backside as well as the bottom of this. And then you'll have to remove the 4 screws. You'll want to, when you probe it and test it, you are going to want to take this pin, disconnect it from the board, and probe between these points with a meter, just like so. And if you're getting between that 80 to 100K, you'll want to put the little multimeter points and test the resistance on the resistance, the omega sign of the multimeter. If this is showing the correct resistances around room temperature between 80 to 100K, you know that this is good and that the solder joint is most likely failed. And then you can go and proceed with what I just showed you, and that should fix it. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, like, comment below if you have any questions, and please hit that notification bell to receive notifications of new upcoming repair videos. Thanks for watching, and enjoy fixing.